HG Roasts. Who is roast number 3? Welcome, dear listeners. You join me once again in the bowels, deep beneath Tudor towers, as I stroll along the labyrinthine corridors and passageways, selecting from the many that are imprisoned here, bound in adamantine chains, kept away from all of the publicity and fuel that they require and desire. Here is where I walk, my shadowy presence strolling along, seeking to identify who we might bring forward and subject to a richly deserved and often overdue roasting. We've dealt with the generous, and with Paltrow's screams finally fading away as her roasted corporal remains turned to ash and were removed by a blast of hot air from the Donald, all that remained was a jade egg, which lay forlornly on the grill of roasting, streaked with soot. At least, I think it is soot. Lord knows what infusions, tinctures, and concoctions have been fired up Paltrow's chuff. Yet, she is now just a pretentious memory, and our attention rightly turns to who shall be roast number 3. So many to select from, so many people to choose. The politicians, the business people, the entrepreneurs, the actors, the television personalities, the Z-listers in reality television, the clergy, the gurus, the artists, the musicians, the pop stars, the writers. There are so many. The YouTubers, the bloggers, those that have become famous of not so much, appealing to the lowest common denominator. So many to choose from, so many to roast, and so little time. Our next roastee is another of those ubiquitous irritations that seems to pop up everywhere with the annoying frequency of Japanese knotweed. This roastee is primarily known for television work, but has appeared in film and on stage. With the departure from our last 2 roasties, we are going to roast a man. Well, he would be identified, I suppose, as a man, but he invariably puts one in mind of dealing with an outsized schoolboy. You can picture him readily in shorts, blazer, and school cap, and requiring the smart sting of a ruler across the back of those thighs. Amazingly, this sack of banality has won several awards, and must have one of the best agents in the business, because alongside questions such as, why are we here? Do aliens walk amongst us? Who actually read 50 Shades of Shite? It remains one of life's great mysteries as to how this overinflated turd has obtained so much work. It really is bewildering. He has a capacity for riding the coattails of others, commandeering their talent and passing it off as his own. He is somebody that is crying out to have the toasting fork of tortuous intentions repeatedly rammed and with rigour into his porcine form. He masquerades as a comedian, although he finds himself far funnier than anybody else does, and is the owner of a highly irritating laugh which suggests that there has never been the event of a testicular descent. Where does the roastee hail from? Well, many, and I mean many, of the former inhabitants of this sceptred isle are plunged into embarrassment that he is British. There also comes a mixture of relief and intensified shame for many Brits, since he no longer habitually haunts Blighty, and instead was exported, perhaps exiled, to our transatlantic cousins in the good old US of A. I would say sorry, but as you all know, I don't mean it, so I won't. Bewilderingly, he has apparently gained popularity, although one suspects it is more to do with those he engages with than anything to do with any particular talent and as what he actually does. He is a husband and a father, and again, mystifyingly, has acquired an honour from Her Majesty the Queen, although I suppose it is rather apt, since the award of OBE, of course, stands for Other Buggers' Efforts, and this gargantuan charlatan and gagpie has made a career and a pretty penny off the back of everybody else. He is the epitome of making such a little go a very long way. He has played in the West End and on Broadway. He has hosted award programs and television shows. He has appeared in film, music videos, television programs, and has written and have produced also. He is like a fucking rash, pops up everywhere, and a bastard irritating one at that. Currently residing in Los Angeles, he continues to make everything all about him, which is understandable, as there is actually quite a bit of him. A richly deserved recipient of an HG roasting, and someone who merits several order of the horseshit awards. He is long overdue the Tudor treatment. He will be dragged from his cell, no doubt squealing like a little pig, and I, for one, will relish administering the roasting that he deserves on your behalf, good listeners. But who is he? Who is our next victim? Who is it who's going to be toasted and roasted Tudor style? Let me know your observations, thoughts and guesses in the comments. I look forward to reading them, and in the meanwhile, ready the roasting chamber, for our victim shall soon be roasted. Join me and be entertained and educated as another narcissist is subjected to a Tudor roasting.